Hey, what's up? This is Ducky from Punk Unity. I am with the one and only Kapali, aka
Yeah.
Chris, from the amazing, and I'm talking about amazing. If you guys haven't heard their EP yet, you really need to. Uh, so I'm just not going to tell you the name of the band because I'm going to leave it like that. No. uh, Dads on Couches. Uh, thank you so much for being a part of the show, man. I really appreciate this opportunity.
You're making me blush. That introduction was incredible. Skya, you yourself, amazing. Ducky, incredible. I'm so happy to be on the show. I cannot thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to come to chat with you. That's so cool.
Man, hey, trust me, the pleasure's mine. I really enjoy talking to like-minded people and musicians and just having a good time. Think of it as in we're our own dad cave.
Yeah,
But it's
we
online.
definitely are the dad cave.
But it's online. It's online. So it's a virtual dad cave.
I love it. I love everything about it.
uh, see, audience, if a man wears anything rubber ducky, that is a man you trust with your life. See, I told you. I told you. Well, tell me a little bit about your band, brother. Tell me about how you guys got started and kind of catch everybody up because, you are going to blow up here pretty soon. So let's get your rock star on.
Yeah, no, again, thank you so much. You know, Dads on Couches is a fun dad punk band that me and my younger brother, I'm going to call him Dr. Nick, kind of started with our buddy Mitch. And Mitch also goes by Vice Principal Graves, just kind of like three buddies that just decided, we wanted to put something together. We wanted to get some punk music out there. We had been in bands in the past, and we were finally ready to start something new. So a couple of years ago, we got together and decided it was time. And it actually, the funny story was it wasn't called Dads on Couches from the get-go. We actually started with ellipsis, like that was our name was the ellipses with the three dots, like
Mhm.
that's kind of what we were running with at the time, and that was Dr. Nick's idea. We loved it. We loved the idea because I thought from kind of a merchandise standpoint or a logo standpoint, if you're using, three circles or three squares, it could be anything. It can be three coins, or it could be three phases of the moon, or it can be three dice, like you're rolling three different dice. And we loved it. We ran with it for a while and then realized that a band already scooped it up and was verified. So we kind of abandoned that idea. And then the next idea that we had came up with was called Lose to Win. And that was based off of this quote in a movie that I really liked. And same thing, like we had it for a while. We kind of like crafted some things around that. And then boom, another band, another band scooped it up. Same thing, back to back. And and then Dads on Couches was formed after that, also by Dr. Nick. And what I love so much about it is the three of us are all dads. We all have kids. You know, Sky, we talked earlier about being proud parents. Like we love
Oh
our
yeah.
kids, and to be able to kind of weave and incorporate that into our music is incredible because I think so many of us can identify with that. So many of the dads can identify with like, yeah, I want to be a punk rocker and I like to party and I like to be crazy and zany, but I'm also a proud parent and I also am respectful and I'm also like I'm grown up. I'm a mature adult. So, kind of weave all that in together, and that to me is a good recipe for a good punk band. Now, I would say our themes are predominantly, they do revolve around kind of adulthood. So when you listen to our music, if you are like I'm a 40-year-old, so if you're a 40-year-old or in your 40s or even 30s or whatever, you're going to identify with a lot of the things that we sing about and talk about and play because of that. So we talk about being parents, and we talk about dad guilt, and we talk about just being exhausted and stressed out and frustrated because of that.
Oh yeah.
We've all been there. We've all had long days where you want to go home and plop down on your couch. Dad's on couches.
Couches.
Sorry, I had to do it,
That's
but
great though. I like that.
but no, that's kind of where we're at right now is we wanted something that we could connect with other dads, that we could connect with other parents, other adults. We're not kids anymore. I'm not in my 20s, I'm not in my teens. And growing up, like a lot of those amazing influences, they kind of led me to where I am today. I still listen to a lot of those bands that I used to when I was a kid, but I love that I can say I still celebrate them as a dad. So that's kind of a good start for where we're at. And we're gonna continue to do that. We're gonna continue to put out dad vibes and come up with different themes that revolve around that, you know?
It's awesome. I like it. You got to write a song about having the dad bod. That
Having
to me, that
I do have that too. I do have the dad bod too,
I,
right? Like
I do too, brother. I do too.
100% have the dad bod. And I don't think I have. I don't think there has been anything I've written about. So I will mark my words on this on this interview. I will write a song about having a dad bod. I promise you.
I like it. I like it, dude. You're awesome. I like this. Uh, I hadn't laughed this much in a while. Sorry. Oh, this is great. Um, so let's talk about this EP.
After 2 years of grinding, all we have are these measly demos. That's literally what it's called. That's literally what it's called.
First of all, I listened to it and I was like, I can tell these guys are dads. I can definitely, I relate. And the last track, WTF, I was like, finally, there's a theme now. I could just like blast it on the stereo and just jog through the neighborhood and just play, listen, listen now. But
Um, WTF is very close to my heart. WTF is life can be tough, life can be scary, and there's a lot going on right now. At the end of the day, the only way that things are going to get better is if we love each other and support each other and are there for each other. And I know, yeah, absolutely. That's actually hard. I've never, that's, I'm with you. Like it's so important that we support each other and be there for each other. And that's not always the case. And that's not, I don't see a lot of that right now. When I wrote the song, I was really just kind of heartbroken and disgusted with whatever it was at the time that I was reading online. I mean, day after day after day, there's just a lot of negativity and disgusting
yeah,
rhetoric online. And so that was my response. And the idea being that, if there are superhuman, amazing aliens that are zipping around our world. I know recently they talked about aliens may live in bodies of water, the ocean, lakes, whatever. But, assuming aliens are real, and if they're around, I think they'd be pretty confused and disgusted with the way that we treat each other. And
yeah,
that's crazy to me. Like, so that's kind of the theme of the song is that, like, look, I can identify and appreciate that our world isn't perfect. There's a lot going on. And if we don't change, things are going to get worse. And in the meantime, if we have these, other, like I said, like these superhuman, otherworldly races that are paying attention and listening to what we're saying and watching, because they have to have some um, ability to watch TV or news or whatever. They have to be plugged in, right? Because like
yeah,
media gets out there, right? Like,
yeah.
so like if media is getting out there, whether it be via radio, TV, if they are plugged into this, like, wow, I'm sure they're, like I said, they're going to be disgusted. And I mean, I take it a step further and it's goofy about like enslaving the human race and stuff like, no, I don't really think that's going to happen. But it's the point that like we need to love each other and respect each other and take care of each other if we want things to get better. And if not,
Amen.
who knows what's going to happen.
Uh,
So
I would say zombie apocalypse, but that's been done to death. But then after watching The Last of Us, I'm thinking, well, I do like mushrooms a lot, so
it's,
might
well,
not be the end of the world.
you and I talked earlier about Misfits, right? I'm a huge
Yes.
Misfit fan. True story. One of the earlier bands that I was in, I was actually in a horror punk band called Spaghetti Zombies. I want to shout out again, my brother Dr. Nick, he was in that as well. And then I have another brother, both younger brothers, whose name is Benny. He is now in The Boy Detective. The three of us were in a horror, believe it or not, we were in a horror punk band called Spaghetti Zombies, and it was your quintessential, misfits-esque type punk band. I mean, we sang about zombies, we sang about Martians, we sang about haunted houses, we sang about skeletons being buried alive. We had the whole gamut and we loved it. We had so much fun. The problem was when we came out with Spaghetti Zombies, and I'm talking like my late teens, early 20s. This was a while ago. I'm 40, so this was a while ago. Nobody in our area cared or really knew what horror punk was. Where we've grown up, and I still live to this day, it's a very rural area, so you're talking a lot of country, you're talking a lot of classic rock, and not that there's anything wrong with that. I can pull great things out of any genre, but that's not my mainstay. That's not my go-to. When you're talking country for me, I'm thinking like I like old school like
Yeah.
cowboy country, Johnny Cash, Willie
Cash.
Nelson, the Highwayman, that kind of stuff. I don't identify with newer country. I'm not saying it's bad. I recognize that there's talent there. I just can't connect with it. But like I said, at the time, so we had this horror punk band, which punk in general was not a thing or is a thing in the area that I live in specifically. And we grinded and grinded and grinded. We played all these shows, and just over time we just decided it wasn't worth it, and that's we kind of abandoned the idea of doing Spaghetti Zombies, which to this day still bothers me because shortly after we stopped doing Spaghetti Zombies, we started a band called Kapal, which is our last name, and AMC's The Walking Dead blew up. And then I saw zombies everywhere, and everybody was talking about zombies, and zombies at the mall at Hot Topic, and zombies on all these different shows and spin-offs. And I'm like, if we would have stuck it out another year or so, we probably would have tapped right into that. But that's just how it worked out. Um, but no, I love horror punk. I'm proud that I can say that I was in a horror punk band for a few years, and it gave me an opportunity to also be in a band with my brothers, which I know not everybody can do that with their siblings. Not everybody gets along with their family, but for me,
Yeah.
I'm in a very like close, tight-knit family. I was talking earlier to Ducky about how I'm not joking, I literally live across the street from my brother, and then our other brother lives above the building that I'm in right now, and it's all like within a triangular corner of where we're at. And it's wild, like all of our
I'm getting some
all,
Illuminati vibes now.
I was thinking because it looks like a spade. I was thinking of the Ouija board thing that you
Oh
you
God.
slide around. Um, but like, all of our kids like are super close. Like the cousins are like they have their own like tight-knit group, and they hang out and they go to school together, and we swim together and we do functions together. We go to the drive-in, like we went and seen what was it recently? We just went and seen Lilo and Stitch, the live version. We just seen that at the drive-in, and like so it's amazing. Like and also kind of piggybacking back to Dads on Couches, the band, and everything that I've ever done. It all kind of full circle comes together. That's why it makes so much sense in my 40s to do something like that, because it's everything. It literally means everything. It's the most exciting, greatest part of my life is being a parent, being an adult, being a dad, So I love that I'm able to, and my kid, and our kids, like I said my brother Benny is the lead singer of Boy Detective. His kids love the Boy Detective. My kids love the Boy Detective. His kids love Dads on Couches. My kids love our like Dads on Couches. It's awesome. Like we are literally exposing our children to good music, the
Music. Yep.
good high quality music that as they get older, hopefully they start a band. They start a family band.
Hey,
Kids on
hey,
couches,
kids on
kids on
couches.
couches, or the kid detective,
Kid detective, maybe kids on sofas.
kids on sofas.
Oh man, I'm jealous, dude. I wish I had siblings, but never had any. I was adopted, so and I'm happy that. my grandparents adopted me at 3 months old. That was an awesome experience to have that generation instill some of their, God, disciplines, maybe, I guess you could say. I don't know. They were not your typical normal grandparents. Like both of them were hillbillies, may they rest in peace. They were hillbillies. Like my father was driving cars at 13, racing them up and down, delivering moonshine.
Wow. That's crazy. That's amazing. That's crazy.
My mother worked on a cattle ranch with her father for the longest time, and she was known as a scrapper. Like, no matter who you were, if you made fun of her or made fun of her brother, she would just cold cock you. She didn't care.
It's amazing.
So growing up with two people like that and an environment where you thought there'd be some sort of prejudice from that generation, neither of them had that. They were not prejudiced at all. They supported and loved as many people as they could. And a lot of that came to me as an adult and growing up in a household like that, seeing the love and all that was amazing experience. And my dad was kind of your typical sitcom dad. Be like, hey, dad, you want to go outside? And he's like, oh, God, just let me. Oh, please,
Boom, boom,
please.
boom,
Bum,
boom, boom,
bum.
boom, boom.
He,
It's
he was a
awesome.
character. He was a character. But I was fortunate to be raised by two wonderful people. And I'm fortunate to have amazing kids. So
That warms my heart.
I appreciate it, man. It warms my heart that you have such a close family and you guys are all connected like that. I'm maybe you should adopt me. Maybe I should send you the paperwork. Just adopt me. Be like, this is the brother we forgot. He got lost in the mail somewhere.
You could be a surrogate Capal. You could be a surrogate Capal.
Hey, Al Capal's not a bad name. Not a bad.
I so cycling back to that because I want to point a couple of things out. Like I love that. I think that adoption is incredible. I think parents that are willing to adopt and love those kids as if they're their own is phenomenal. Not to toot my own horn, but I adopted my eldest daughter and like I just you telling me that like you had hillbilly essentially grandparents that raised you but no prejudice and love and share support like that's a gift. That's a huge gift and that's so
Yeah,
awesome. That's so awesome to hear. That
I
makes me so
appreciate
happy.
that.
You had a good, it sounds like you had a really good life. You had really good upbringing. And even though there was wild and zany antics and it could be sitcom-y at times, as long as love was there and acceptance and appreciation and support, awesome. Awesome.
Oh,
That
oh,
sounds like a good life. That sounds like a great life.
it was. It was. There was a
Um,
lot of zaniness, especially when I got to be like around 16. Oh, there was zaniness.
you had moonshine, you were zipping back forth with race cars and stuff. Insane.
Dude,
Insane.
I would tell my parents, I'm like, hey, I'm going to a party. And my mom would be like, okay, well, call me when you get there. And my dad would be like, if something happens, call me and I'll pick you up.
It's
I'm like,
amazing.
are you sure I was like, aren't you guys supposed to tell me? No, it's a school night. You got to stay in. My dad was like, ha, whatever. Good luck.
Well, because we're humans and we're human, especially when we're teenagers, we're gonna do stupid stuff. We're gonna get into
Yeah.
trouble. So if you
Oh,
have
yeah.
parents that can identify and accept that, like that's not saying like, yeah, go and do whatever you want, we don't care. It's like, no, we're smart enough to know you're probably gonna get into trouble here and there and just be transparent and open with us and that's awesome. That's awesome. Like I love when people say, my parents always said when I was growing up, if, I was drinking underage or smoking or doing something I shouldn't be doing, call, then that way
Yep.
you get home safe and the parents can pick you up safe and there's no awkward situation or uncomfortable situation that you get stuck in because you don't need somebody taking advantage of you.
No.
My best friend was in a situation where he had literally had somebody that got him trashed and stole money out of his wallet. Like stuff like that happens, like that's a mild scenario, right? Like a lot of
Yeah.
bad things can happen when you don't have your faculties about you, especially if you're not used to drinking or smoking and you're in a situation where peer pressure gets the best of you. So to have parents that are like, look, no questions asked, call us. We'll come. Let us know you get there safely. We'll come and get you if you need us, but just let us know. That's amazing. That's amazing to hear.
And I'm going to do that with my kids too. I'm like, look, just tell me where you're going. Keep your phone on you. If anything happens, you call me and I'll show up. That's all I ask be safe. Think with this head, not any other head.
That's a dad thing right there. That's a dad thing. Think with the right head.
Head.
That's a dad.
And children, I'm just going to say for all the kids out there, remember, smoking is bad, drinking is bad. You guys shouldn't smoke. It's really bad for you. I'm just saying. But hey, drink water and stay hydrated, kids.
It's amazing. No, but that's I'm going to ask you if you don't mind. What was the you said that there were like racing cars and stuff with
Mhm.
the moonshine running. What kind of cars are we talking?
Oh gosh, I am not a car person at all. I'm really not. I can fix a tire, I can change oil, and I can change a battery out, and
So pretty that's impressive.
I mean, that's about as far as it'll go for me. If something goes wrong with the car, I can usually tell you that, okay, I know what's going on. And my wife would be like, what do we do? Well, we take it to a mechanic because if I work on it, I'm going to somehow turn the car into like a time travel machine. And yeah, it's not good. My wife will constantly tell people I am an agent of chaos. If weird things can happen in any type of scenario, they're going to happen. And it's going to be me. Like she has seen some of the craziest weird things happen to me, and she's like, "Only you." I was like, "You picked me. You wanted to spend your life with me, so
Yup.
you knew what you got into. Just like I knew what I got into when I married you. That you're some crazy chicken lady. So I know it. I knew it. You're one beautiful mother clucker, and that's just how things are gonna be."
Okay, so let me get this straight. So we have a mother clucker and we have a ducky that are married in the same household. That's amazing. There's a lot
Dude,
of birds.
man, my wife is my best friend, and the fact that she is a crazy chicken, like she is obsessed with chickens. The first thing we do when we move into our new house is, I want chickens. Okay, okay. I'm like, calm down. You'll get your chicken fix. Just calm down. She's like, I want a pet chicken too. I was like, okay, you do what you want. I'm not gonna kill them though. I'm vegetarian, so I'm not eating them. You guys do what you want to do. So, and if anybody out there thinks I'm some kind of huge, I'm in your face type of thing about that, that's not the situation at all. I still like to fish. My wife wants to take me hunting because she's a hunter. She's killed 12 bucks in her lifetime,
Oh wow.
and that makes me know that I should never do anything bad because she knows how to use a rifle pretty good. So, but it my dietary choice is a personal choice. It benefits my health benefits.
Yeah.
Uh, so like today we went out. And they wanted to get a big name chicken company, whatever, a meal from them, and they're eating it. They're like, "Do you want some?" And my a 12-year-old stopped. She goes, "Oh." I was like, "No, no, it's okay. It's okay. Enjoy your dead flesh, honey. Enjoy your dead flesh. Enjoy it. I'm just gonna sit over here and cry."
I'm gonna sit over. True story, fun fact. Benny, boy detective, my brother, his family is vegan, and he does the same thing to me and Dr. Nick. Like he will rub it in that we are like, I hope you're okay with murdering innocent. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's, and
I mean,
I respect it because I know that it's a commitment, and you're sacrificing. You're not like you're sacrificing convenience, in my opinion. Like you're taking the time out to really investigate and understand what do you need to eat to stay healthy? What do you need to eat to, you got to get your protein, right? You got to get your vitamins, you got to get your stuff. So like I'm actually very proud of them. I think it's amazing.
oh yeah,
Um, we have a pizza place that also is same corner of where I live. There's a pizza place called Gino's, and they're amazing. And it's not a corporate chain. It is literally like there's a gentleman that is named Gino that moved down into Ida in the 80s and started this little place called Gino's Pizza. Now it is new management. It's new owners, but they've kept like the same recipes and they've kept the same sauce and whatnot. It's phenomenal. Gino's in Ida. If you go online, Gino's in Ida, phenomenal. Anyways, when the new owners took over, this was a few years back, I called them and I said, "Hey, just letting you know, because I know he's never going to do this, but my brother, who lives across the street, his family's vegan, would you be willing and or interested to try to have some kind of vegan options for them? And her name's Tara, and she's amazing. She said, absolutely. Absolutely. And within like, I think less than a month, she got special cheese in, she got special crust, they got like cauliflower crust, gluten-free, all the stuff. And true story, like if you call Gino's Pizza tonight, you could ask them, they do have a vegan pizza and they made it specifically. I'm not going to say 100% for our family, but they did it to accommodate our family because of my
That's
my
awesome.
brother's family, which is incredible. And that's amazing. So like I respect your reasons for it. Like I don't take it as you're being preachy or judgy. I take it as what you want to be healthy. You have your reasons for doing it. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. My eldest daughter is vegetarian. That's Eve. That's awesome. Like I support that. I would never take that away from her. I would never argue that. Just like I have my own personal choices and decisions, I'm going to respect other people and I'm going to do whatever, especially when it comes to my kids. I'm going to do whatever I
Yeah.
can to support them. Which means I'm not eating like meat in front of my daughter, right? Like I'm not like, hey Eve, da da da. Like I'm going to respect. Like, here's a big piece of mutton. Like, no, I would never. I would never. I would respect that and I would refrain from eating that in front of her. Or if I did eat something, it would be on accident, unintentionally. But yeah, I think that rocks. I think that's groovy. I do find it very funny, circling back to earlier though, that you have a ducky and a chicken in your like a duck lover and chicken lover in your house. That's like, what are the odds of that? That's like two peas in a pod, right? It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's it is a man. So many people I've met when they get into an argument with their significant other, they'll stew over it and stew over it. I can't stay mad at her more than like 5 minutes, and I'm like, and then 5 minutes go by, and I'm like, hey, what's up? You good? Cool. Want to hug it out? It's just I can't. It's hard for me to stay mad at someone like that.
We have a lot in
Especially
common.
yeah. I mean, it's the way you're supposed to treat your significant other. I'm not saying we're always going to agree on everything.
Sure.
Lord knows there's a lot of things that she likes and does that I'm like, okay, no, 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 no. Keep your hippie music to yourself. I don't need it.
Keep your hippie music to yourself.
So we compromise on music. So she doesn't want to hear anything too heavy,
Okay.
but she likes Evanescence and some symphonic metal bands. I was like, cool. All right, I can go with those. I was like, but you're gonna have to listen to some reggae. You're gonna have to
Okay.
listen to a little bit of punk. I made the mistake of putting on NoFX in the car with her one day, and we had our daughter with us, our littlest one, Juniper, and I believe it was Juniper. There's so many kids. Some kind of little person was in the vehicle with us, and she was like, change it now." I was like, "Okay, yeah, not a problem." And I started paying attention to the lyrics myself. I was like, "Okay, no."
Skip it. Skip it.
Ah. So that is the one thing that can be difficult. Um, Having kids and listening to certain bands, like I'm a huge Misfits fan just like you are. The first punk song I ever heard was from them, Last Caress.
Oh my. Oh,
So
so good.
and then I have to be careful with certain songs that they sing about certain things. And my oldest or my 13-year-old heard that song and she was starting. I was like, no, 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 don't sing it. Don't, no, no, no.
Oh, I got something to say. Boop,
Say
boop, boop.
you just
Is it a
got
little?
fried chicken today and it looked good to me, but I can't eat it.
It's
Oh
good.
yeah, I'm a
It's good.
vegetarian.
You're singing it louder over the lyrics to try to drown out what Danzig is singing. It's awesome. It's awesome.
So tell me a little bit about your music background. I know you were in Spaghetti Zombies, which I have a feeling you really need to bring that back.
I'd love to. We've
The
talked about
world
it.
the
We've
world
talked about
needs more horror punk. There's not enough horror punk out there. I will say that. We do
so
need some more.
what I'll say is so with Spaghetti Zombies, like I said, we did it for a few years. It was a lot of fun. We had some really good music, and it kind of died out. What's cool is so then so again, Dr. Nick, Benny, and myself started Kapal. And initially it was a three piece. It was because I also play drums. I guess I should have said that at some point earlier, but like I'm not a drummer in Dads on Couches. I'm singing and I write the lyrics and like I do help craft the songs per se, but honestly, Dr. Nick and assistant principal Graves, they are the masterminds of the instrumentation. They just build these incredible skeletons that we keep, pun intended, we keep building off of, right? Like pun intended, we're talking horror punk. So like they're phenomenal. They're both phenomenal musicians. We've all been doing this forever. So like I trust them. I trust their judgment when it comes to music. They bring the music to the table and then I take it and I sit and I say, okay, like I got to put some lyrics to this, like what's kind of the vibe that's going here, blah blah blah. And fun fact, because I haven't really shared this with a lot of people, 9 times out of 10, if I'm writing lyrics, it's when I'm washing the dishes. So we don't have a dishwasher in our house. We've been in our house. It'll be 3 years in December, I believe. The previous owners they did not have a dishwasher, which is fine. And we haven't invested in that because our money's been needed elsewhere, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't mind washing dishes. It's to me, it's therapeutic. I listen to music. It gets
Yes.
right. It
Yes.
sounds crazy. Like people like to do housework. People like to, and I don't mind vacuuming too, but people do housework when they're stressed out. People do housework when they're upset. It's great. It is a de-stressor. And the only thing is, and I've taken it on like, I live with my fiance and I've told her, I'm like, please let me do the dishes. As crazy as that sounds, I like it. It gives me an opportunity to kind of like break away from the mundane and it's creativity usually flows when I'm doing dishes. I don't know why. Um, so usually when I'm writing lyrics, I have my phone out, I'm listening to music, and like I'll be, I'm sitting there wiping the thing or whatever and scrubbing. I also love Scrub Daddies. I use Scrub Daddies religiously. I think they're incredible. And I'm sitting there da da da, and that's when you think you've seen it all. I'm like, that's a cool line, and I'll stop and I'll like pull up, the notes on my phone and I'll zip that down, and then for a couple of days I will keep going back to it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but how do I build and craft from there? So that's kind of how I do it as dishes. I don't know why I got off on this tangent. I just thought it'd be cool to talk about
No,
doing
no,
dishes and write lyrics because
dude,
that's
it's fun.
it's a cool
I
process.
told, I've told my wife and to me, one of the craziest ideas is, you have these male exotic dancers that women want to pay all this money for that look, they're all chiseled, well toned. I was like, why don't we start one that's focused on nothing but dad bods? Like I will come on stage, act like I'm scrubbing the dish or something or ironing for you.
That is I, that is a really cool idea because like when we do live shows, I do try to do like zany, crazy, like over the top things. Like that's not a bad idea to take
There you
like
go.
no joke like take like a little like Tupperware full of soapy water and like be washing dishes while I'm singing and zipping around because that's the beauty of me not having an instrument, like not holding an instrument, is I am free to roam the stage, and I'm very rarely on the stage. I like being out with the crowd, like I like dancing with people, and I like doing silly things. We just played a show. Actually, I want to give a big shout out. We just played a show called Splish Splash Bash. It's been going on now, I believe, for 3 years. We played the last 2 years. It was in Hazel Park, Michigan. The Van Ash couple puts it on every year. They're amazing people. They have a big backyard. They have an above ground pool. They have a hot tub. They have a trampoline that you jump on. And this year they had two stages. And so like a band would play, and then when that band wrapped up, the next one would start, and they kind of staggered it back and forth. And there was I don't know like 15 bands playing. It's an all day thing. It started at like noon and ended 9, 10 o'clock at night and just incredible. And so like we brought beach balls and we brought an inflatable couch and I dressed in like an alien swimsuit and like I'm dancing and rolling around and I'm throwing beach balls at people and I'm at one point if you listen to our EP we have a song called Enfeeble and in Enfeeble my brother Dr. Nick, the reason we call him Dr. Nick is because he is legitimately a doctor. He's a doctor of clinical psychology and he specializes in grief and loss. So like there's a part where he's giving like a little like psychology thing about he's talking about like we talked about you feeling emasculated and blah 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 like that snuck in there because of the fact that he's a doctor. So while he was doing that live, I laid on the couch like he's giving me like a little psychotherapy section, which I thought was pretty clever. I thought it was pretty clever.
That is clever. I like
Also,
that.
I also jump in the pool. So that's become a signature thing for the past 2 years is during the set, I literally stop what I'm doing. I put my microphone down, I jump in the pool, zip around for a minute, and then I come out and finish my set, which is really cool. But amazing. So I wanted to real quick, like shout out to the Van Ashes. They're amazing. Splish Splash Bash. It's like I said, we played it the past 2 years. Amazing show. Played with Boy Detective played it along with a lot of other incredible bands. But something I'm hoping we will also do next year and so on and so forth because just a great time. But cycling back to, but what I was going to say is the dishes idea is brilliant because I could at the next show have like a thing and I could put it down and I could just be singing, like not paying attention to the crowd for one song, let's say, but like be scrubbing and drying dishes and putting in a rack. That's actually, because who does that? That's a brilliant, you came up with a brilliant idea. So if that happens, I will record it. I will give you props for it. Which is another thing I really try to. That's why I gave the props out to the Van Ashes and Splish Splash. I do try to give credit where credit's due. If I do that, Ducky, I will 100% give you credit because that's brilliant. We've also talked about me putting a Lego together, like a small one, but like having a little table set up, and as I'm singing, like put a little because I love Legos, and I thought that's another fun thing. Like they're like, dude, he's putting a Lego set together. What is he doing? Like because you don't expect that when you go to see shows, like anything you can do that's out of the ordinary, people are going to remember, even if they don't like you, even if they think you suck, even if they don't like your music, they're not into you, they're going to remember, he jumped in the pool. He was throwing beach balls at people. He was washing dishes. He was putting a Lego set together. Like those are those cool things that I'm a big fan of Typo Negative, right? And Peter Steele, like I actually craft some of my singing off of Peter Steele. He's got a lower, he had, he's not no longer with us, unfortunately, but he
He's
had,
in our heart.
2010, awful year, awful year. I love Peter Steele. And that band still, I mean, I know they're not still actively doing like new music, but like they still put stuff out online and they still sell merchandise and they're re-releasing vinyls and stuff. Like I know Dead Again, there was an issue with whoever owned the rights to it, so they finally got Dead Again now streaming and that's re-released and everything. But anyways, there's a funny video. I want to say it's Pantera, and I apologize to anybody listening if I'm wrong, but I think it's Pantera. Peter Steele comes out with a big broom and he's brooming the stage
Yeah.
as they're playing. And I'm like, that's incredible. Like, because nobody does that. And the whole time he's like, he's not paying attention to the band. He's not paying attention to the audience. He's just brooming the stage because that's something Peter Steele did. He was very satirical. He was very, actually, to me, he was like otherworldly. He was just I can't even describe like I got to see them play one time, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the last show they ever played before he passed away. It was at Harpo's in Detroit. It was the first time I seen them play, and it was the last show that they did live before he died. Because I know he went to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and I think he was staying at it was either his sister's house or his aunt's house or something, and he passed away there. But that show was incredible, by the way. It was incredible, blew my mind. I had goosebumps. Like when I listen to really good music, if it really touches me, I'll either get goosebumps, like you'll literally have like the shivers going down your spine when it happens. That happens a lot when I listen to like Pink Floyd or happens with the Misfits or happens like oftentimes with like bands that do like over the top, like epic, like guitar solos and crazy harmonies. No Effects. No Effects is actually going back to No Effects. Fat Mike's harmonies are ridiculous. I don't even
Oh yeah.
understand. Like 90% of the time, he's harmonizing with himself or with the band, and they're incredible. The harmonies are tight. Like, and what's so cool about Fat Mike for me is his vocals they're gritty, they're snotty, they're that like, I'm a punk rocker, but then like they're doing this amazing like four-part harmonies. There's a song called Deadbeat Mom. I can't tell you what the album it's off of. I'm sorry, but in the beginning, listen to Deadbeat Mom when you get a chance. In the beginning, it literally starts with them doing just harmonies and then into the punk song. It like drops into like a cool bunk, like the downbeat is a cool punk beat, but like literally they're harmonizing together for like a few bars and then they go into the song. And I'm like, that is so cool. You got scat singing and Bob, no Effects is a brilliant band. You were talking earlier about how you were listening to the car and it caused a little bit of chaos, but like NoFX is a great for anybody out there that does not listen to punk or does not know anything about punk. NoFX is a great one to get into. It's an easy one to get into because their library is insane. They got tons of albums, tons of EPs, tons of singles. They're amazing. They're affiliated with the Punk Rock Museum. Um, I know they just kind of I don't know if they officially retired, but I know they just kind of pseudo retired. But man, they're just NoFX is incredible, and I have a lot of my that's another one. I would say Fat Mike is another one of my role models when it comes to my vocals. Like if I'm doing anything kind of snotty or real edgy or real gritty, that's Fat Mike. Peter Steele is going to be real deep because I do have a lower registry and I can talk and I can get pretty low. That's Peter Steele. I also love Meatloaf. I think Meatloaf is phenomenal. I use a lot of Meatloaf. Bad Out of Hell is phenomenal album. I own the vinyl. Actually, the vinyl was gifted to me by a good buddy of mine. This will all circle back, by the way. I promise. I know I'm rambling.
No,
Um,
no, 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 no. I feel like
um,
I'm talking to a brother. I feel like I'm talking to a younger brother. That's just how
feel the
it
same way.
goes.
I think
No,
I honestly think you're a super cool dude, and I feel like
I
I know
appreciate it.
you live
Likewise.
a few states away, but I feel like we would hang out and have a great old time
Oh
if
yeah.
you were closer.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of like kindred soul, kindred spirit stuff going back and forth here. Um, so, what was I saying? So Bad Out of Hell was gifted to me by a good friend of mine named Michael Bustos. He goes by Ameristos. Bustos, so like I was telling you earlier about how Kapal was me, my brother, Dr. Nick, and my other brother, Benny from the Boy Detective. It was the three of us for the longest time. Like we had other members on and off throughout the course of it, but Bustos was like the last and most like prominent member, the one that like really left an impact. And technically the band, we stopped the band. It's kind of on a hiatus. We don't really do anything today. It's not that we necessarily broke up, just life got in the way. We were all doing different things and we just kind of decided to take a pause. And unfortunately, it's been sitting for a while. But I mean, we're still all great friends. I consider Mike a brother. We all consider Mike a brother. And he is a phenomenal guitarist. He is a phenomenal saxophonist or saxist. He's a phenomenal keyboardist, pianist. He's got a great voice and he's very, very talented and creative. And like the reason I bring him up is going back to Spaghetti Zombies. As Kapal, we decided when it was the 10-year anniversary, Spaghetti Zombies released one album called One More Empty Grave. On its 10th anniversary, Kapal redid it from the ground up. Same lyrics, pretty much same idea, like the same skeletons for all of it, but like we tweaked it. Like some songs are a little bit faster, some songs are a little bit slower. Some now have harmonies because when we did the first Spaghetti Zombies album, it was just Benny, Boy Detective, singing the vocals. In the new one that we did 10 years later, it's all of us singing. So there are parts where there's harmonies. There's parts where I sing a little bit. Dr. Nick sings a little bit. Benny sings a little bit.
I've,
Uh, Bustos, Amaristos sings a little bit. And if you get a chance, if you want to really capture like the essence and spirits of Spaghetti Zombies, because I think our Spaghetti Zombies album might still be on Bandcamp, I would say instead go on Spotify, look up Kapal, Capaul, and look up One More Empty Grave and listen to that because that is the same song to song. It's the same exact album, the same order, 10 years later, but everything's just been cleaned up. I mean, we're better musicians than we were 10 years prior. I mean, we were late teens
yeah.
doing that. So 10 years later, I mean, all of us like better singers, better musicians, better all of it. Like, check out One More Empty Grave. It is a really, really cool horror punk album. If you like the Misfits, I mean, we
Sweet.
snuck a little bit of surf in there. I think we snuck a little bit of metal. Actually, there's a reference to Master of Puppets in there. It's a really, really cool album that I'm proud of. And that was something I wanted to make sure I also gave props to is like I can talk about my brothers all day long, but like and they're great. But Mike Bustos, Amaristos was a huge influence, is a huge just like came into the band and elevated everything and just kind of tied everything together better for us and challenged us to be better musicians because he's phenomenal. He's
Yeah.
phenomenal. And I
That
also, as a side note, I also, I did a little solo project too, 2020 when everything was shut down and we couldn't leave. Him and I digitally back and forth in 2020, 2021, and 2022. I was telling you earlier when we were talking earlier about how I go by Capali, right? I'm Chris. My real name's Chris or Christopher, but I also go by Capali, which I have. I'm going to show for the camera. I'm tattooed on my chest, which I know is ridiculous and over the top, but that's me. But my buddy Bustos Amaristos, him and I did like this solo project called Capali, and you can also find that on Spotify. We only have a few songs, but those songs were amazing, and it was really cool because at the time we couldn't physically see each other, but we utilized online. We both had laptops and computers. We were kicking around back and forth. We were using GarageBand to do a lot of stuff. And like this microphone that I have right now, this is a Chromium by Mackie. I got this so that I could do rough takes and whatnot, and then he would take my recordings and clean them up and fix them up because he's also got a recording studio to boot. But we did a lot during 2020. We did a lot those 3 years, and we had a blast. And I told him with how bad things were at the time, how scary it was. People were
Yeah.
dying left and right. People were getting sick left and right. I've lost like. Luckily, I have not lost any family members to COVID, but I lost some close people to me to COVID and a lot of like neighbors and people nearby. That was therapy during COVID. Like
Yeah.
him and
Imagine
I
so.
back and forth. It was something to like because I've said this and I've said this recently too in a podcast I was just on too. There's few things in life that you can completely disconnect from everything else, but whatever that is, music is one of them.
Yeah.
Music is a gift because when the world is literally crumbling and falling to the ground, music shut it all off. All the white noise, all the nonsense, all the voices are off. You're just focused on the song, you're focused on the music, you're focused on the band, right? There are other things, sex, and there's other like magic moments where, going down the first hill of a roller coaster. There's things where like you can't think of anything but that moment and you're happy and you're or terrified if you're afraid of roller coasters, but you're happy and you're excited and you're just living in that moment. And for me, that's always been music, always. And that was why I wanted to make a point to say, like, my journey leading up to Dads on Couches, I've had an opportunity to work with amazing people. I'm not going to say that there weren't times that we fought because there were. I'm not going to say
Right.
there weren't times that, egos bumped or, we didn't agree, this, that, and the other. In every band, every project I've ever done, because that's the thing is, we're all creative people. We all want our voice to be heard. We all want our message to be delivered. So we're going to fight. There's going to be give and take. But at the end of the day, if you get through it and you make amazing music, it was worth it. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky and fortunate that I can honestly say in every band that I've been in. So you're talking, and I can go back. I can go back to like the first couple bands I was ever in. I was in an emo punk band called A Beautiful Kind of Tragedy, long, long time ago. We played a handful of basement and barn shows. We had a couple rough recordings on I think it was a 4 track at the time. I think we had a rinky-dink 4 track at the time that we were recording on. I was in a band, a punk band, a tongue-in-cheek punk band called 1 Inch Brigade. And that was one based off of that was when I was first getting into NoFX and Screeching Weasel and the Queers and all those bands. Like that was kind of a rough, gritty, snotty punk band. And we were teenagers. We didn't know what we were doing. And
Yeah.
again, we played local shows for 10 people. We had crappy recordings that we were putting on. It wasn't, I don't remember what it was called at the time. There used to be this website where you could put your songs up for free and then but you had to go and you had to like review other people's songs and that would give you credits and points to then be able to put more songs up. I can't even tell you what it was called.
Don't
But
even.
long time ago, long time. We're talking 20 some years ago, or longer. But and then like I talked about Spaghetti Zombies. I talked about Capal. I talked about Capali. Like and I've been in other bands. I was in a band called Come On. Come On is actually Benny and Nick from The Boy Detective were both in a band called Come On. I was in that for a hot minute. Um, our guitarist Mitch or assistant principal Graves, he and I were in a two-piece band called the Chicago Style. Like I'm friends with all these people. I know all these people. I've stayed in contact with all these people. Some of the very, very early ones I haven't because just over time we've moved apart and like just haven't connected. But I mean, like any of the prominent bands, I'm
Right.
still friends with all of them. I still call all of them brothers, even though we're not. blood related. These are people that I trust. These are people that, you know, they've walked with me throughout the course of my life when, when things were awful, when things were scary, when money was tight. Um, I've dealt with divorce. Like these people have all been there for me when I was going through all of that. And it's because of music. It's because of music. That's what connects everything. And at
Yep.
the end of the day, think of anything that you do, music is usually involved, right? So, funerals, there's music. Wedding, there's music. You graduate from high school or college, there's music.
Music. Yeah.
Anything. You have birthday parties, there's music.
Yep.
Earlier today, we were working on my back porch. I'm having issues with my back porch leaking. We were listening to music the whole time. Even to the point where you kind of forget you're listening to music just because that's what you do. You listen to music because it's so ingrained that that's important. It's a part of it. I have a
It is.
big
Yeah.
JBL. It's called what is it called? I want to say boombox too, but I don't know if that's what it's called. It's a big camouflage JBL, and like I take it everywhere because and it's also waterproof, so it's cool. You can take it to the beach, you can take it to the lake. You can drop it in the water if you want to. Accidentally drop it in the toilet. But like music is everything. It's healing. It's music can if you've hit rock bottom, music can help you get out of that. Music can also pull you down too, though, and I love that about music too. Like if I'm having a really bad day and I just want to cry it out, I'm also very sensitive. I do cry a lot, and I'm an empath. So like if I want to just cry it out, put some music on. Put on Pink Floyd The Wall and just I want to get wrecked. I just want to get wrecked. I want to hear that guitar weeping as I'm sobbing because it's just so beautiful. Dave Gilmour is just shredding on guitar and I'm sitting there just in the fetal position because the the world is so tough. I'm being facetious, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. I
incredible. It's
understand
just
completely.
incredible.
It's the language of the world. It's what can bring everybody together, no matter how old you are, no matter, you know, any type of background you have. Everybody can get down with some music in one form or fashion. So that's what I like about it. Because I completely agree. When I was working for the hospital during COVID, it it was dark. It was very dark, very heavy. Um, you work 12-hour shifts. You've seen people that come in, they have a slight cough. You come to work the next day, they're gone. And it
It's
was
terrible.
really it really a lot of us got PTSD from it because you're not supposed to see that. A lot of people are not supposed to see that side of humanity. And when you're not used to it and it gets thrown in your face every day, over and over and over, it will throw you into a spiral to where you're just, I could write lyrics in that time point that would make Stained be like, dude, you got to cheer up, bro. Either that or you got to write us some song lyrics. I mean, send them to us. But it was a very dark period in my life, and I'm lucky my wife helped me, help pull me through that time period. Her and the kids kept me focused on, trying to keep my head leveled. Were there days where things were just bleak and I couldn't see them? Of course. But a lot of the times, I go in there. If I got really bad off, I go put some music on or pull my phone up and look at pictures of my family. And I'd be like, all right, we do this. So, and then someone's like, you got to change this diaper. And I'm like, and it's gone. No, that honestly, I really miss working for the hospital. It's just, they did not pay you. Uh, you do not get paid what people think you get paid. And it can be brutal. It can be very brutal. So when we're talking about working 5 12-hour shifts and then have
Wow.
a day off and then work 3 12 hours and maybe have a couple of days. No, I'm much happier now working the night shift 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts. I'm so much happier doing that. So I work for a small team. We're in this giant like laboratory where we work on medical stuff, and I can listen to music as much as I want. I can listen to podcasts as long as I do my job and make rude jokes with my supervisor and him make them right back to me. I'm fine. all the coffee I can drink. Not that I need to be drinking any more coffee. Because every time I drink too much coffee, I think of Fry from Futurama where he has 100 cups of coffee. That episode. I swear, I feel like I can drink that much coffee and time will just stand still around me. And I'm like the fat guy
Slow
Flash.
motion. You're moving in slow motion. To
But
which I'm going to tell you right now, I respect you. What you do is a vocation because you said earlier about like the if you have a job in the healthcare, medicine industry, whatever you call it, what you're doing is a vocation. You don't typically go into it for the money, and that's you said it best. Like you don't get paid what you're worth. You don't.
no,
And
no,
so it's a vocation. You do it because you want to take care of people. Don't get me wrong, you need a paycheck and you need to make money and you need to do what is best for you and your family. But I respect you. I
I
respect
appreciate
anybody
that.
in the healthcare
Appreciate
industry. I really do. Because that
Well,
and
I'm technically in it, but I'm not technically in it anymore. I'm not in hospitals. I'm not taking care of patients anymore. I fix medical equipment now. So,
it's still all adds up though. I mean, even if you
yeah,
don't technically do it anymore, the fact that you did it and you put your time in, like I see that as a vocation. I see that
I
as
appreciate
it's
it.
an honor. It's honorable work. You wanted to be there to help. Even today, you're doing it to help make people's lives better, right? That's the
Yeah,
whole. It's just like the education system, same thing. Like people in education don't get treated the way they should either. And again,
no,
I think it's because it's a vocation. I'm there because I want to help kids develop. I want to help kids grow and be ready for adulthood and the next step of their life. They don't get paid. It's the same thing like a health field or healthcare, whatever you want to call it. Like they don't get paid enough. You don't get
no,
paid enough. And that's sad because that's everything. Everybody needs healthcare. Everybody needs to be healthy to stay alive and to keep living. So you would think the powers be would allow it to where you would make the money that you should earn, that you
yeah.
should you deserve, you know?
It's not going to happen. The system, uh, with our country right now, the system has failed. Like Megadeth was sung about, you know, the system has failed.
Sure.
This is a broken country. I don't care how many people's like, oh, it's not that. Yo, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. We have people being yanked from their homes that shouldn't be yanked. We have people that are starving on the streets. We have people that are on the streets that don't need to be on the streets. But yet, when they go to jail, they get a little slap on the wrist, and then they're out 3 years and they can do more damage. No, that's not how it's supposed to be.
It's
It's not how it's
heartbreaking.
supposed to be.
It's heartbreaking. And it's not fair. And it's not right. And it's disgusting. And it needs to get better quick. It needs to get better. We've come too far for things to be the way that they are right now. That's the sad truth. That is the sad truth. You think you go back in history, all this terrible stuff that happened, like, no, 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 it's in the history book. Like, we're gonna learn from that. We're gonna move forward. And it's like a lot of it's repeating. And it's sad. It's sad that it's happening. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
Breaks
I
my
agree
heart.
with you. Go on, throw another rubber ducky up there. Come on, do it. Do it.
Watch this. This is gonna blow your mind.
I love that one.
I got another one. I got another. Dude, I brought so much cool. He's got so much cool stuff.
That's
Like, I just
awesome.
wanted, because I thought about just doing rubber duckies, and I'm like, you know what? I got other things. I got all this cool stuff. Because I do have a rubber ducky, but it's a Dalmatian. And
I
I'm
like
telling you,
that.
he's got, because you've seen that I sent you the TikTok. He like when he was really, really little, Baltic had these rubber ducky blankets where it was a little rubber ducky head and then like a little, it's about the size of like a big washcloth. It's not super big. There was a point where he had like 20 of them. And he would, you lift his like the comforter off his bed, and there'd be all these ducks, and it would be those along with rubber duckies, and he would have rubber ducky pajamas. He's got rubber ducky swimsuits. My mom, true story, my mom for his birthday, he just had his birthday back in June. She got him a custom rubber ducky towel, like beach towel, and it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap, and she's gonna do that for all the grandkids, which I think is super cool because Benny's got a pool, so we're always over at Benny's swimming. And we're always like going to the beach or going on vacation and stuff. So my mom was like, I feel bad giving a towel because it's kind of seems like a lame gift. And I'm like, But mom, it's not because it's something they're going to use every single day in the summer.
Yep.
And for him to have his own beach towel that is riddled with rubber duckies and says Baltic, 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 like A, nobody can touch it because it's his personalized thing. It
Yep.
vibes with what he loves. And he actually he's got some cool pictures with it. Like he uses it, he not only uses it as a towel, but he's used it as a blanket too. He loves it. He loves it. So Baltic loves duckies. Got all sorts. This is Baltics. We got all sorts of duckies in our house. I could have honestly packed a suitcase of stuff, but I just was like, I'll bring a couple. I'll bring a couple things. And in me, like I said earlier, I'm big into, scary, spooky horror stuff. So I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, and he loves this. So I'm like, that's super cool that we have this in our house because I personally, my spirit animal is scorpions. We have a scorpion version of this too. And I'm actually wearing I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but I have a scorpion necklace that has a little scorpion,
Nice.
real scorpion in lucite. I love scorpions. He's a duck kid, and then the rest of my kids are into cats. It's ducks, scorpions, and cats in our house.
Uh,
It's an interesting combination. You combine the
I'll
three
take
and see what you come up with.
I'll take the scorpions and the ducks. The cats, no, 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 no. No. They're nature's jerks. But then I can vibe with them because I'm like, I'm kind of a jerk too, so I know where you're coming from. But at the same time, get your paw out of my coffee. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
You just said
But
it. They're pains in the butt. 100%. They're jerks. I love. I have learned because we talked about this earlier. I'm allergic to cats, and we have two cats at our house, which is what it is. And I do love both of them. We have a cat named Bunker, and we have a cat named Dootson, which Dootson has 18. Well, actually, they both have 18 million nicknames. Dootson, Pootson, Snootson, Snoodle Doots, Bunker, Bunks, Bunkety Bunk, Bonkers. They all have a million nicknames because we have kids, and it's fun. You have all these pet names. But what I like about the only thing I will say is this: like, I like cats and dogs. And growing up, I was always a dog person. As an adult, I am more of a cat person. And the reason being is what I have found, and I still love dogs. I'm not saying anything bad about them. You have to work to earn the trust of a cat. And once you do, if you're lucky to get there, that cat, like I was saying Dootson earlier. So we rescued Dootson. We found Dootson outside in our backyard. He was a runt of the litter that was left in some foliage. We took him in. We rescued him. We weren't planning on keeping him, but we did. And, we bottle fed him and cleaned him and all the stuff. And he's now over a year old. We've had him for a while. So he's not a baby. He's not a kitten anymore. But when I come home from work, he comes to the door. If I call for him, he'll come and he'll run and he'll jump on my lap. When we go to bed, he'll follow us upstairs. He's a really cool cat, and it's wild because like growing up, the reason I didn't like cats was that reason. I'm like, cats are mean, cats are unapologetic. They do what they want to do. They're sassy, they're brutes. But like if you get a connection with a cat, dude, they like it's crazy. Like it's the same connection you get with a dog,
yeah,
but with a dog, it's a lot easier. Dogs are amazing because they love you just because they love you. It's unconditional. Like dogs will love their owners no matter what, which is sad because even if the owner's a POS, they'll still love the owner because that's dogs' natures. They have big hearts. They're just great animals. So I love dogs. This is not me saying it takes work to get that from a cat. So when you get that, it's like mind blowing. It's like I didn't realize I could have that kind of connection with a cat. And when a cat
yeah.
acts like a dog, it's like, holy cow, like I did something right. So where this cat wants to be around me, wants to spend time with me, wants to snuggle with me. It's crazy. But the cat also, for me, what drives me nuts is Dudson will put his paws in the water bowl. So you'll fill the water bowl and he'll go, and then the water's all over the floor. And then he'll refill it and he'll do it again. And then he'll complain that there's not water in the bowl. I wonder why. I wonder why, sir. Ridiculous. Cats are ridiculous.
Uh, Dude, we we went on a whole tangent about music, and now cats and aliens and a horrible country. So we
To
got
me,
to.
but this is the beauty of a podcast interview,
Mhm.
YouTube. Like you and I have this cool connection and we get to talk to people about like, yes, the whole point of this is we're talking about dads on couches. We're talking about the new EP. You know,
Hmm.
we just dropped the EP on, believe it or not, we dropped the EP on the 4th of July. That was really exciting. And that was
Nice.
intentional. So the EP came out on the 4th of July, so it's only been out for a few weeks. And the pre-sales went up in June on Friday the 13th, which ta-da, like makes sense. So we had the pre-sales. You could pre-order it on Friday the 13th. You know, Jason Voorhees would be proud. And then it comes out on 4th of July. And it was awesome because during 4th of July weekend, everybody's home. They're doing fireworks. They're cooking, drinking, swimming. Not at work. You can listen to a new album. And we had a lot of traction that weekend. I was really excited. It did a lot better the opening weekend than I thought it was. Not that I didn't think it was a great EP. I think I mean, I stand by my music. I think it's great.
I think it's great.
But like it did a lot better than we anticipated. And then on top of that, another shout out, Punkerton Records had a huge hand to play in this because they pushed it out, they advertised it. So now we're seeing all these articles on all these different media outlets online that are sharing the album release and they're sharing songs and they're reviewing or sharing the EP and they're reviewing specific songs. There was one amazing one and I can't what was his name? I can't think of it. I'm mad at myself because I would love to give him a shout out, but I can't think of the name right now. It's escaping me. But he literally wrote a review for all 5 songs, lyrically, instrumentally, the vibe, the feel, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And I was so like I was blown away. I was flabbergasted, but I was also overwhelmed because every time I would go on Facebook, I'm seeing a new article that somebody's sharing, and I Google search it and I'm seeing new articles, and I was sharing them on our page. Like if you go to Dads on Couches since July 4th, all it is just different media outlets that shared our album and talked about our
And that,
album, and I was so blessed. I was like, we didn't expect to get that kind of coverage, and it's because Punkerton Records saw value in us. Punkerton Records wanted to give us a shot, reached out and said, "Hey, would you like us to help you?" And we did, and it blew up. And Brandon Lewis is the owner, creator, main guy for Punkerton Records. He's amazing. Like he actually did our artwork too, like the artwork for it with the skeletons in the recording studio. That was him. He has been amazing to us, and we're just very lucky. And then we have the connection with Boy Detective, so they've been pushing our stuff. All these other local bands, they've been pushing our stuff. It's unreal. I've never had that experience with any of the other bands that I've been in, right? We talked earlier about DIY. That's always been us. It's been, we make our
yes.
own merchandise. We book our own shows. We invite our own bands, which all amazing. And we still do to this day. But to have a record label that's like, hey, your stuff rocks. We're going to give you a shot. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I can't thank them enough. And I am so grateful. And I'm overwhelmed with just warm feelings and appreciation and positivity. It's unreal.
That's awesome.
In our album, we did it through DistroKid, so our album is on everything. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on actually we're on SoundCloud and Bandcamp separately, but you can find it on Spotify, Amazon, Apple. I think it's on Pandora, TikTok. Like you can literally Facebook. You can pull up our songs from Facebook if you want to have our song on your page, or if you want to do a little blurb on Facebook. You can tag a song in it, like one of our songs in it. Like it's unreal. It's unreal to me. Like and so like I believe that when I get opportunity like amazing opportunities like this where I can talk to the world.
I'm just a normal guy.
I have to give credit where it's due. I have to there because there's too many amazing people that were involved to make this happen. Christopher H. Vogel, like he's a big name and like he's got his own recording studio. I think it's in Amsterdam, but I could be wrong. It might be Switzerland, but he's like this famous, he produces and he records and he mixes and masters and like we sent our stuff to him and he mastered them through Punkerton Records. Like we had this amazing musical genius touch our songs and make them even better. And like, I just don't even know how it all happened. It happened so fast, and we're right now we're trying to ride on that momentum. That's why, I found you and reached out to you. Like, I want to keep it going. I want to keep telling our
Yeah.
story. I want to keep sharing our message because I do think our message is positive. I do think people can identify with our music. If you listen to it and you give it a chance. Instrumentally wise, it's great punk rock. It's fast, it's fun. It's, I in the past 2 weeks I've heard No Effects, I've heard Foo Fighters, I've heard of course, I'm going to blank right now, but I have heard Misfits. Enfeeble actually sounds like some kind of hate a little bit. That's intentional. But like, so I have all the Billy Idol. Like, we have all of these bands that we're being compared to, which is an honor to me because none of those bands are crappy. They're all phenomenal, or
Yeah.
bands, musicians. So there's that, and then like. So like, but our music, but it's funny because I was on another podcast a few weeks back, right before the album released, and they said what's interesting is your music, and when you play live, it's fun, it's exciting, it's positive. You're dancing around. We talked about beach balls, jumping in the pool, blah blah blah. But if you actually read the lyrics, they can get dark, they can get heavy, they can be sad. And so there's a duality to our
Yeah.
band. So like, yes, we're dads, and yes, we're on couches and we're being goofy and we're being fun and blah blah blah. But like, life sucks sometimes, and life
Yeah.
is hard. We've talked about that earlier. Like,
Yeah.
and that's okay. That's okay to talk about that. That's okay to share and celebrate the fact that sometimes life sucks, and pick yourself up and push forward. Fight the good fight. Reach out. I'm a firm believer in transparency. I'm a full believer in accountability. Like, I've had so many conversations recently about accountability. Like, that's like, to me, like the songs that I write, the message I'm trying to give is that, like, be a good person, be a good husband, wife, dad, mother. I also try to, that's the other thing too. I do, with the exception of, I think, idolatry, I do try to write the songs gender neutral because I want anybody to be able to
Yeah.
connect to the message, right? So WTF could be anybody. Enfeeble could be anybody. Enfeeble is literally about taking away something from somebody that means everything to them, and that could be something different for each person. So like, because I had somebody ask me recently, they're like, okay, you're saying don't take it away. It's the only thing I ever really loved. What is it? And I'm like, I can't tell you because I don't know what it is for you. I know what it is. I might know what it is for me, and it might be more than one thing. I mean, I'm simplifying it for the sake of a song, but like, what is something that is so important to you that if somebody took it away, it would devastate you, it would destroy your life? It could be losing somebody, it could be divorce, it could be, I mean, it could be something superficial. It could be I lost 50 followers because of something stupid I put on Facebook. I hope that's not the case, but it could be. Like, what is something that is so important to you that if you didn't have it, your whole world would collapse? And that's so that's kind of where my mind is. Usually I'm either writing about something that's happened to me personally, something that I've witnessed personally, or something that I know of somebody that's happened to personally. Like, I do try to make those deep connections. So it's not just a silly song that doesn't mean anything. It's not just we're dancing around being goofy and there's really no meaning to what we're doing. The instrumentation, it rocks. I have phenomenally talented musicians in my band. I'm going to say it right now. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. The album wouldn't be doing as good as it's doing. I'm taking something amazing they started and making it a little bit deeper, making it a little more relatable with the story. Because I've had people say to me before, like, no offense, but at the end of the day, nobody really cares about the lyrics. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, lyrics to me are that's the ticket. That's the ticket to ride, right? So if I hear
Yeah.
a song that rocks instrumentally and then hear lyrics and they're garbage or they don't connect with me or something, I might say it's a cool song, it's a groovy song, but it's not for me. You have both, it's a match made in heaven. You have that instrumentation and you have that depth. You have something that you can, like, this is my song because I went through this, so I experienced it. I'm listening to music and I understand it. I went through divorce. He did too, or she did too. I can connect with that. I don't have to feel like I did this on my own. I don't have to feel like nobody else knows, gets, or understands me. Again, we talk about the magic of music and therapy. That's why music is so crucial, so vital. With everything going on right now, with life being tough, with life being scary, music is the saving grace, in my opinion.
No, I agree with
Music
you
can heal and
completely.
save the world. You said earlier, universal language. I can't agree with you more. If we had five different people from five different countries, five different races, five different ideologies, but we all understand the concept of music, I guarantee we could write a song together.
Yeah.
That's what else can you do with that? Maybe math. You could do that with math
I
or
don't know.
science, maybe.
We
But
don't do math. No math.
you, but there, how much like there's very little in life that you can say we can all connect on this. It doesn't matter how old we are, where we came from. That's the other thing too is my when I was in high school, I was in band, and my band teacher, my band professor, whatever you call him, band instructor, would always say, you know, this school values sports above all. And it's true. The school I went to
Yeah.
was all about sports. That's how they make their money. That's their thing. But here's the thing. How many of those football players are still going to be playing football in 20 years? How many of the basketball players are going to be playing basketball in 30 years? Very few, uh, amateur or professional. But you know what? I could be 90 years old and still sing. I could be 90 years old and still play piano. I could be 90 years old and still play a trumpet or or a bass guitar, right? You're a bassist. Like you will be able to play bass guitar for the rest of your life unless you lose your hands. And even if you lose your hands, there you can learn with your feet. You could be
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way you could set it up to where you could do it through your mouth through a straw. Like you can always play music up until the point that you die. You can have some variation of music. You
That's
can't
true.
with you can't with every occupation. You can't with everything else. So that always stuck with me like that. Again, like I can do music the rest of my I'm a 40-year-old and I'm still doing music. You know, I'm getting older. I am bald. I am getting fatter. You know, I got the dad bod, the song that we're gonna work on, you and I together, the dad bod song we talked about earlier, right? But that's the thing is like music can still be a part of our lives up until we die. And even that, guess what? At your funeral, memorial service, spreading of ashes, whatever you do, I guarantee music will be there too.
Oh yeah. I
It'll be
hope so.
music you liked. It'll be
I hope
music you
so. Well, buddy, I this has been an amazing conversation. I really appreciate this. Um, don't go anywhere after we stop the recordings. I'm gonna keep talking to you because yeah.
well, can
Well,
I and before we because I if we're wrapping up, I wanna thank you
go
for
ahead.
having me on. It means the world.
Man,
You are an
I'm just a
amazing
guy.
host. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading music, celebrating music, supporting music, because without that, we don't exist. And you yourself are a musician, so you appreciate, you see value in it. You're giving me an opportunity to yap for I don't know how long we've been doing, let's say an hour and a half or whatever. Like it means the world to me, and I really appreciate it. And I also want to give you super credit because me reaching out to you, you not only responded lightning fast, but you were quick to answer all my questions. We were laughing, we were joking, we were sharing pictures. Like I felt very comfortable. I mean, I always get nervous before anything I do,
Oh yeah, yeah.
whether it's a play or a show or whatever. Like I always get nervous, but regardless, like I knew I was going to have a good connection with you. I knew this was going
Good.
to be a good interview. I can't thank you enough. So thank you for giving. That's a gift. And
You're
again,
welcome. You're welcome.
I want, I
Thank
want, I
you.
want to, I want to thank my band for everything that they do. I was really hoping Dr. Nick was going to be able to jump on tonight, but it fell through. He's busy. He's a doctor, but but they have been amazing. They're super supportive. They're excited. They love the first podcast. They're going to love this podcast too. And then, like I said, I talked about my other brother Benny, the boy detective. That band is incredible. Check them out. You are missing out. Like as much as we're amazing, I'm being silly. As much as we're great and all, you got to check out the Boy Detective. They're crazy. They're super great. They're super awesome. I will always support my brothers, agendas and projects and whatnot. We talked about Mike Bustos, Mike Amaristos. He's phenomenal. He's been a huge help along the way. I'm actually hoping him and I can do like get involved somehow and do some new stuff, whether it be him come and do something with dads or him and I pick back up where we left off with Capali or Capal. That would be awesome. Just everybody else, all the different, like all the local punk bands that we've played with, ska bands that we played with. Michigan ska is huge. It's just, it's been an amazing ride. I want to keep going. And so thank you for
Oh,
listening to
thank
me.
you. Thank
You
you.
know, I'm talking and talking verbal diarrhea, but thank you for allowing me to do that. You're
Dude,
amazing, Ducky.
no,
Please
just a
keep
guy,
doing
man.
this.
I plan on it, trust me. But
You're
all
killing
right,
it.
well, I love this guy. For you, audience, whoever you are. I don't even know where my audience is or who my audience is, or I don't, you know what? I don't even know where I am half the time. But that's okay. I've learned to accept it. Um, Once again, this has been another episode of Punk Unity with my wonderful host, Kapali.
Yep.
Ah,
Capali. Perfect. You
yes.
nailed it. Capali, you nailed it. Chris
Lead
is fine
singer,
too. Chris is fine too.
Chris Fine too, with the amazing band Dad's on Couch.
Dad's on couches. Plural.
Couches. Couches. So please support them. Go check out their merch. Listen to their music. Give it a chance. I promise you will not be disappointed. Once again, thank you so much for being a guest on my show. I appreciate it. And the rubber duckies of doom.
That's right. These are for you. I brought these on for you.
Once again, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to support uh, Dads on Couches, and please like, subscribe, um, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell someone you hate. Hey, tell your ex-wife. It's a good way to get back at them. I do. Uh, but thank you guys. Remember, keep your heads above water. Always keep that love in you. Wherever you go, somebody will be there for you.